everyone, welcome to Crafting with Nikki. Today I'm going to do another design digital store video for you guys because I get asked quite a bit on how to open up stores on Design Bundles and Hungry JPEG and Creative Fabrica and other sites that require an application process instead of like Etsy where you can just open up a shop and start selling as long as you pay the listing fees. So we'll get into some of those here in just a second. I did want to say if you guys want to see more videos from me, to hit the subscribe button and the like button. It does help, and be sure to comment if you have any questions that don't get answered at the end of this video. So we'll go over a few tips that I've learned, and I hope it answers some questions. So one of the biggest reasons your shop may be denied or anything is you don't have a right to sell the designs. And this includes, I've run into several Etsy stores that have purchased one of my, designs or bundles, and then they're selling them at an even cheaper rate that I could even offer them on Etsy. And, when I contact the store and I'm like, hey, you can't do this because you don't own the rights to this, or you don't, you have to design the designs yourself, they apologize and they take it down. But I do state very clearly in all of my stores, the design cannot be shared, duplicated, or, sold or given away for free on any other site, any other store. Because it's mine, and you can make different designs with it, and you can print them or create physical products with them, but you cannot disperse the file itself. So if you're selling, if you're getting freebies and then selling them in your store, or you're taking designs like Disney and Marvel and stuff like that, you don't have unless you went and got the license for that, you don't have a right to sell it. And stores like Design Bundles and Creative Fabrica and stuff are not going to allow those on their sites because they can actually get in trouble, through the copyright, and then they lose money. So they just don't even mess with it. And Etsy has even been cracking down, if they pop up, Etsy will just shut the store down. And other ones will pop up, all the time. You'll see, where a store was just opened that year or that month, and then they only have a few designs and, a few sales, but a couple days later, it's down. But, ultimately, if you're a designer and you're putting in the work and you're designing the stuff, we'll go into some other stuff to why maybe your store's not getting approved on the first go-around. But I did want to talk about that big scary skeleton, of selling SVGs or any digital file online, because it is an issue that has to be discussed and has to be told, because if nobody tells someone, everyone's going to be like, well, I didn't know. So now everybody knows who's watched this video. Do not sell designs that don't belong to you. And we can dive into that in another video, but one thing that I did, so another tip to, why your shop's not getting approved, something I did earlier this year was I went through my entire catalog of SVGs and updated the preview image. I did this because I just didn't like having the different formats and the different views on different, images from when I first started to where I am now, and I wanted to, get a better brand for my designs. And so I kept it similar, but then I added some color, and, at the same time I'm doing this, I fixed some errors that were in the files. I made sure that each listing had the correct file, because sometimes when you duplicate, it gets mixed up, and you get customers coming back to you and saying, hey, this is the wrong file, or there was an error in it. But I did this, and it took me a few months, but it was definitely worth it. I'll put up a preview of where I started from, where I was, and then where I'm at now. But because I fixed, but by updating my store like this, it did a few different things. The first of being, it gave my store a fresh new look. It looked really put together. It was really clean. It looked really nice. But because I did this, it fixed any errors in my files. It also, like I said, it gave it a fresh look. I also got, the last thing it did was I was able to get rid of any listings that weren't selling, and maybe had just poor design and updated those, or just got rid of them altogether. But it was fun to see my design evolution on SVGs, from the past few years. But how is this going to help your store open? What it's going to do is it's going to give the administrators a fresh take on your store. It's going to make your store really pop. One thing in my older previews, you could see a watermark covering my entire image. A lot of sites, they don't care for you to have watermarks over your image, because what this does is it can sometimes deter customers from purchasing it because they don't know what's part of the watermark and what's part of the design. I know you do that because you don't want people stealing the design, but at the end of the day, you're not trying to advertise to the people who are going to steal your design, or go find, another design. You're trying to advertise to the people who are willing to spend the money, and so you want to make that look as fresh and clean as you can for that customer. And, the last thing I want to go over is, your library of products just might not be broad enough. You might have too many niche designs in your store that are only going to cater to a very small market of the market. You want to make sure that you get tons and tons of designs. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 listings by the end of this year. We'll see how close I get. But that way I can have a bigger selection to offer, and I'm trying to get as much as I can to cover the entire spectrum. Some designs that are pretty niche in my store are selling, but they're not going to give me a good revenue on but you can search trends. Christmas always sells, holidays always sell, sports always sell, sports mom stuff definitely. Basic quotes for home, like, home sweet home, things that aren't trademarked. But, unicorns have been a craze that I thought would go away by now, and they're not going anywhere. So unicorn designs sell. Try to stay away from the unicorn face, because I think there's plenty out there on the market for that. But if you want to pop a few of those up, you definitely can. But you want to give your customers, you want to be able to cater to the large market of your customers, and then also cater to smaller markets that maybe other stores aren't. You kind of got to get a big, broad spectrum of all of them. And this is going to help you get on your store in different platforms, because your store is going to become more popular, and by making your store more popular, other websites are going to want you to sell on their website. So, you want to make sure you get a broad spectrum of designs. Don't stick to just one simple thing, or, the tiny things that may not sell quite as often to bring in a monthly income. But, once your store is looking really good and all your designs are properly formatted, you're not selling anything that, you're not supposed to be selling, this may be enough to try and reapply to some of these stores, and you might get approved. If you're denied, again, just shoot them an email, and, send them an email, ask them, hey, what can I do to up my chances of getting approved? A lot of times they will email back, and sometimes when they deny your shop, they'll tell you, this is the things that we want you to work on, but don't be deterred to reapply again after you've worked on them. And some, they just have they've got people applying every single day, and so they're trying to not flood their market so much that you know, customers can't find anything because there's too many items. So some of them might just be, it's not anything against your store, it's just they're trying to get, you know, they're trying not to overcrowd their website. But definitely just ask them if, you know, at the end of the day, just go ahead and ask them. Keep that form of communication open with them. But don't let it discourage you from selling digital products. If you're still doing really great on Etsy and, you know, you're still getting some income and some reward from it, and then just keep honing your skill and keep going, and you should be successful in whatever you do. So I think that should cover most questions. If you have any other questions that weren't answered, go ahead and ask them in the comments below. If you have any other ideas on what you guys want me to film, go ahead and leave those down below. Be sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye!